Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jim Becker, the Executive Director of the Titusville Redevelopment Authority. And on behalf of our Board of Directors and our staff, I'd like to welcome you to Titusville Opportunity Park and thank you all for coming out today. First, I'd like to start by recognizing some of our special guests who are joining us today. If I miss you, I'm sorry. From Congressman G.T. Thompson's office, Joe Fadden. Thank you, Joe. Let's see, we have representing the Governor's Northwest office, Mr. Dave Mitchell. Scott Dunkelberger, the Director of the Center of Business Financing from the Department of Community Economic Development. He's in the back. And his trustee sidekick, Jared Lucas, also from the department. We have Melanie Johnson from the Governor's Action Team of the Northwest. We also have Jill Foys and Dave Zeller from the Northwest Commission here with us. We have a couple of our city council members. We got Mr. Edelman and Mr. Bromley. Thanks for coming, guys. And our city manager, Larry Manross. And representatives from our school district. Boy, we got everybody here. And who? Oh, there's Allison. You were with us on the bus. Allison Schmidt from the Northwest Director for the Department of Community and Economic Development. And let's see, our engineering firm, who's involved in this latest announcement of this project from Stifler McGraw, our local representative, Joe Roddy. And I think that's it, of course, the staff. Okay. Well, this park officially opened in September 2000. It's currently home to 18 companies, about 275 employees. But when the Redevelopment Authority purchased this abandoned steel mill in 1998, no one knew exactly what was going to happen here. The executive director at the time, Mike Allen, knew that what the community needed was for us to take on this project, and he knew that we had a lot of work ahead of us. He also knew this project was going to be massive in size and scope, and because of that, we'd be forced to take a phased approach in upgrading the utilities and renovating buildings as we went. After the environmental remediation of this brownfield site was completed, the renovation work truly began with the rebuilding of the infrastructure. We created a new electrical power service from the bottom up, new natural gas service, storm and water sewer separation projects, and much, much more. The first building that needed the utilities was to create an industrial incubator, which is the building directly to my left, a 100,000 square foot facility, multi-tenant facility that was rehabilitated with private, federal, and state funds from DCED, and has been fully occupied for several years. From there, individual buildings were upgraded as they were needed by businesses. Another example of this phased approach was the Grand Valley project, which renovated blighted structures besides our high school football field that you saw as you came through town. There was truly a generation of people in this community that had never seen the lights on in those buildings. Now, with the help of DCED and the commitment from a local company as our anchor business in the complex, Grand Valley Manufacturing, the buildings are occupied with two companies who continue to grow and invest in our community. One of the more recent improvements is the building directly behind me. We had a company within the park came to us several months ago with a request for additional space for an expansion. We didn't have that particular type of space that they needed, so we figured it out pretty quickly. It was necessary to erect a new building. Additionally, the large building that is just down to the west from us is currently undergoing renovations. With its high ceilings and heavy crane capacity, it was a perfect answer for another local company that needed to do an expansion. Partnering with Northwest Savings Bank, we were able to put together a financial package to accomplish all of this all at the same time. After being able to accommodate these two companies, we found that there was still a need for additional space. Fortunately and unfortunately, I guess. Our current project is a renovation of 6 buildings at the other end of this industrial park further to the west, is a continuation of this phased approach. Once again, an incubator is needed, but we weren't in a position to do it on our own. That's when DCD again stepped in to assist us with the funding for this project. It's only with the assistance of DCD and the local entrepreneurs that we are able to turn this once abandoned brownfield site into an active, growing, and successful industrial park. So that brings us to the reason we're here today. We are truly honored to have the Secretary of DCD visit our community and our industrial park today. I'd like to take just a minute to briefly introduce Secretary Walker. Governor Tom Corbett nominated Secretary Walker to be the Secretary of the Department of Community and Economic Development in January of 2011. As the head of DCD, Secretary Walker leads the agency's efforts to help Pennsylvania businesses and communities grow and compete in a global economy. Secretary Walker hails from Bigler, PA, where he was the president and CEO of Bradford Energy Company, Inc. He has served as member and chairman of several boards, including the Pennsylvania Chamber of Business and Industry, Team Pennsylvania Foundation, Pennsylvania Coal Association, and the Pennsylvanians for Effective Government. He is also the past president of the Pennsylvania Society. In addition to the impressive business resume, Secretary Walker touts an extensive and effective civic record. He served with the Bigler Civic and Recreation Association, Clearfield YMCA, Clearfield Hospital Board of Directors, the Clearfield Foundation for Health, and the Bucktail Council Boy Scouts of America. Secretary Walker is also trustee of Bucknell University and has served on the university's long-range planning, executive, building and grounds, and trustees committee. Secretary Walker obtained his bachelor's degree in economics from Bucknell and earned his master's in business administration from Penn State. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Secretary Walker to Titusville.
Well, it's great to be here, and thank you for ordering this August day, because I know we don't get many days like this up here in northwestern Pennsylvania. And I know we have a thunderstorm coming sometime this afternoon, so hopefully we'll finish up. Actually, yesterday, and I've been on the road quite a bit lately, I was introduced as the Secretary of the Department of Environmental Protection. I can assure you, nothing could be further from the truth. Because I spent 40 years of my life in the mining industry. You know what? I wish they would make me Secretary of the Department of Environmental Protection, because I'd straighten up the mess that's there. But I'm more from DCED, so I'm on a very positive side for economic development. So it's an exciting time for me to be here as a Pennsylvanian, and I'm amazed by the opportunities that we have today in small communities, especially as it relates to economic development. We're here today to officially kick off an exciting project here at the Titusville Opportunity Park. Titusville and opportunity go hand in hand back to the days of Colonel Edwin Drake, who struck oil near here in 1859, becoming the first commercial oil well ever drilled in the United States. And the last time I was up here, we went down to the building on the corner of the main intersection in Titusville that had just been reconditioned, and I was really impressed to learn that at one time Joseph Pugh and John D. Rockefeller had their offices in the same building. That's pretty significant. So it's places like Titusville and innovators like Colonel Drake that define Pennsylvania's emergence as an industrial power and home of strategic thinkers who dare to dream. Since the days of Colonel Drake, Pennsylvania has certainly had its ups and downs, and I certainly recognize the challenges you continue to face from my own experiences in nearby Clearfield County, which is also in a rural area of Pennsylvania. From my experiences in Clearfield, and based on my experiences in visiting 61 of Pennsylvania's 67 counties, I've noticed a common theme for achieving success. If you build it, they will come. And those who fail to plan, plan to fail. If we fail to continue to improve and reinvent, others will pass us by. It's why when I travel around this great Commonwealth, I say over and over and over again, economic growth and job creation go hand in hand with strong communities. From our urban centers to our rural communities, having move-in ready business parks with updated infrastructure is key to attracting new growth to Pennsylvania. What you are doing here at the Titusville Opportunity Park will definitely help you grow the economy of this community. And you already have great local business advocates from the park, including Alternamats and Roser Technologies, who are helping to move your local economy forward. And we toured both of their facilities just now. Very, very impressive. Today marks another chapter in your book of progress. So on behalf of Governor Corbett, I am proud to announce the award of a $1.25 million Pennsylvania First Grant to the Titusville Redevelopment Authority, our RDA, to breathe new life into the Titusville Opportunity Park. The PA First funds will help you redevelop 6 buildings at the park, bringing new opportunity, including potentially adding 80 new jobs in addition to the estimated 250 that are currently working here. And I believe that once you build it, this park will flourish, as we're already seeing signs of that. The buildings are fundamentally sound, with high ceilings and overhead cranes, which are ideal for heavy industry. And while Titusville was at the center of the oil boom, you are situated in close proximity to the Marcellus and Utica shale development. I have no doubt that you will capture a lot of the downstream supply chain and manufacturing right here in Titusville. It really is a great story of reemergence, with our industries of the past providing us with the foundation to support the industries of today. Working together on projects like the Titusville Opportunity Park will create new job opportunities for our citizens and a stronger Pennsylvania that is built to advance. Coming from a small rural community, I know that today is about much more than a job announcement. It's about turning things around and looking toward a brighter future. With new projects that we support, there's a new opportunity for Pennsylvanians. For a contractor to bring home a paycheck, a manufacturer to save for their child's college fund, a front office worker to buy a new home, and a better quality of life for all Pennsylvanians. That is what drives our economic engine forward, and that is why days like today are so important. Thank you for helping to build a stronger Pennsylvania and a brighter future. Now, there are 2 things I love to say when I'm out on the road, because most of my life I couldn't say this. Number 1, I'm from the government and I'm here to help you. And number 2, your check is in the mail. Thank you.
Thank you, Secretary Walker. Thank you all for attending. I believe the Secretary is going to be available for a couple minutes for the news meeting for a couple questions, and then they're going to be off and on the road. But there's plenty to drink and some cookies and favors in the back, so please help yourself. I'd like to thank our staff at the Redevelopment Authority for getting this all put together. Renee and Lori and Kristen and Debbie, Debbie's unable to be here. She's at a shale event down in Pittsburgh. So again, thank you all for coming. Thank you for the partnership. Thank you for the partnership, and we look forward to this project moving forward. So thank you very much.